Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows.
I've got something in my front pocket for you. Why don't you reach on in my pocket and see what it is? Then grab onto it, it's just for you. Give it a little squeeze and say, how do you do?
Means that
Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad. The transcribed story of the violence that moved west with young America. And the story of a man who moved with it.
I'm that man. Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. The first man they look for and the last they want to meet.
And now get ready, girls and boys, and make sure you have your peanut decoder rings ready, because it is time for Dr. Peanut's Old Time Radio Show. The sponsors for the Peanut Show are Nut Hugger Underwear, D's Nuts, and of course your Anus Fudge Factory. And don't forget, girls and boys, we will have a secret nut code to give to you to solve at the end of tonight's episode, so have your decoder rings ready. This is the moment you have all been waiting for. The one and only original script channel, the often imitated but never duplicated, the original gangster, the OG. This is the channel that other channels steal from. This is the channel that other channels copy and get, quote unquote, their ideas from. The nut for all seasons. His top hat is made of rubbers. His backside is made out of springs. He is bouncy, trouncy, flouncy, pouncy, fun. But the most wonderful thing about Peanut is he's the only one.
And now it is time for Dr. Peanut's Old Time Radio Show, bitches!
A heavy, ominous sky covered the dry, barren wasteland. Like a death shroud covers the souls of the dead, the sinister rain descended down. Like the constant drip of venom falls from the fangs of a western rattlesnake, coiling around the dust of the earth. Like a fallen angel, eager to look for poor lost souls to drag off to the very depths of hell itself. Yeah, this was the kind of night where even the angels feared to tread. The only reason to venture out into a storm like this was if you were looking for trouble. And that is exactly what the stranger found, trouble. And the shadowy silhouette of the horseman was lit up by the sudden flash of lightning that revealed the intensity in his cold, ruthless eyes and the scars on his face, all of which revealed his cold, dark intent. And that is when he secured his horse, pulled out his peacemaker, and slowly crept up to a lone house at the edge of town. The rancher's son, instinctively, hid beneath a table and watched on in horror as the deadly fire of the stranger's Colt 45 rang out over and over again into the abyss of the cold, remorseless night. As his family finally slumped over lifeless and dead, murdered by the stranger in cold blood, he flinched back from the shock and knocked over a vase on the table. The stranger whipped around at the sound, but the boy was frozen with fear, and all he could do was helplessly look at the killer, in slow motion, point the weapon at him, and pull the trigger. But much to his surprise, they both realized that he needed to reload. And so he sprung out from below the table, made a break for the back door, and managed to evade the stranger in the chaos and pandemonium of the storm. That was 20 years ago to this day. And thus begins our tale.
Well, where it be, stranger?
Give me a whiskey, bartender, and put it in a dirty glass. Much obliged.
What did you say your name was again, stranger?
I didn't.
Well, what the hell are you all gawking at? Play that damn piano, Clement.
Hey there, stranger. You ain't from round here, are you? My name is Indy, and I run this here establishment. I run the biggest independent saloon this side of the Rio Grande. Now you be careful, and stay clear of Cactus Jack. Because he will kill you just for looking at him. And you are sitting in his chair, stranger, but you didn't hear that from me, mister. And speak of the devil, now don't turn around, mister. But there he is.
You're sitting in my chair. Get out.
Well, I sure didn't see your name on it.
Mister, I'm going to give you to the count of 3 to get out of my chair, or I will send you straight to your own grave, regardless if there is a name written on your tombstone or not. Now get out of my seat.
You best do as he says, mister. I don't need any trouble in here.
1.
Leave him alone, Jack. He doesn't know any better.
2.
Hit the deck, everyone.
3.
The stranger revealed his widowmaker, Colt 45. The glint from his chrome handle shined through the cold of dark saloon, like the edge of the grim reaper sickle. Before he cut down the souls of the damned, a bead of sweat dripped down the brow of the rival, as the whole saloon remained deathly quiet, like the pallbearers to a funeral, intensely devoted to their grim task at hand, as the sound of a lone windmill was heard in the distance, harnessing the power of the wind, like the ethereal shades of Hades, warning the combatants of what is to come. The omens of destiny call for their souls, like the Valkyries of Odin. They come for the fallen warriors, to bring them to the shores of Valhalla, from whence they shall never return, to that great big roundup in the sky. So they circled each other, like the roosters, in an ancient dance of death, in a game of fate that plays itself out. Over and over again in life, the combatants may change, but the game is always the same. The scenery may change, but make no mistake, the game is eternal. The combatants may change, but the game is always the same. The scenery may change, but make no mistake, the game is eternal. What may have only taken minutes, to all involved it seemed like a lifetime, as the sweat began to moisten their shirts under that merciless Texas sky. But one thing was certain, today one of them would die, so their eyes were locked on their opponents, like pit bulls locking jaws, intensely scanning for an impulse to pull the trigger. The tension in the air filled the whole saloon with an impending sense of danger and doom, like the scorpions locked in an eternal duel. Two unstoppable forces, who were fated since the beginning of time, to meet right here, right now, like pawns of a greater force, weaving the destinies of life, till only one remains. In this winner-takes-all twist of fate, they were born from their mother's womb, to sow the seeds of death and sorrow, to drink in the tears of grieving mothers, to leave in their wakes the hopeless souls of destitute widows, like dead leaves that fly on the mercy of the brutal winds of chance. But the time had come to pay the piper. This was their way. The sun began to dim beneath the passing clouds, who cast their shadow over the unfolding drama below them, like the cloak of the grim reaper, casting their fates to the mysteries of the deep, beyond the curtain of mortality, beyond the walls of time itself. And just like that, it was over, quick as lightning and as loud as thunder. Smoke billowed out of the barrel of the stranger's iron, like a rattlesnake slithering through the winds of death. And that was the end of Cactus Jack, slumped over, lifeless, and unceremoniously left on the floor of a saloon, in a pool of his own blood. But no man can fight his fate. When his number comes up, his time is done here on earth. Ashes to ashes and dust to dust. Nothing, and I mean nothing, could have stopped this duel from happening. When an unstoppable force meets an immovable object, there is nothing us mortals can do to stop them from clashing. Cactus Jack learned this lesson the hard way, and now he is no more, and for the moment. You can chalk this up to a win for the good guy.
Nice job there, stranger. I guess old Cactus Jack won't need to worry any more about a seat. At least not where he's going.
Well, I reckon not, ma'am.
By the way, my name is Snooks. I am Indy's best friend, so if you need me for anything, you let me know, stranger. And y'all better not be shy, handsome.
Wait a minute there, Snooks. Are you sure you're all safe in a place like this?
Snooks pulls her dress back a little to reveal the Dillinger she keeps tied to her garter belt.
Look, stranger, they are more worried about me than I am about them. I always have an ace up my sleeve.
Speaking of aces, stranger, why don't you come sit down over here? We're playing poker and we need your money.
What game are we playing?
What the hell do you think we are playing, stupid? Go fishing. We are playing poker, dumbass. By the way, stranger, my name is Iron Yor. The guy in the bad mask is Olga. And the cowboy in the snakeskin boots is Anti-Ed Jack.
Well then, deal me in, boys. I done robbed a man of his life tonight. Might as well rob you of your money, too. Make it a full evening.
You got spunk, stranger. I'll give you that. The game is 5-card draw. Jokers are wild. How many cards do you need, stranger? And don't forget to land deal. It costs a quarter to buy in.
I reckon I'll take 2. I'm your...
Now turn around nice and slow, stranger, or you will take 2 all right. 2 barrels in your chest.
Who the hell are you? And why are you ruining a perfectly good game of poker?
The name is Frank Terzo, and I am the law around these parts. And we do things by the law around here. You're going to jail, son, and then you will stand trial for the murder of Cactus Jack.
Now you look here, Sheriff. You know that was done in self-defense. If you took the time to talk to any of the witnesses in this here saloon, they'll tell you that.
Tell it to the judge, son. But hell or high water, we are going to have ourselves a trial. You got that?
Sheriff Frank Terzo walks the stranger across town to the county jail and locks him in a cell to wait there until it is his time to stand trial for the murder of Cactus Jack.
Now, Sheriff, what's the real reason why you got me locked up in here? You working with them Jenkins brothers? Is that it?
Look, son, you got it all wrong. I ain't working for the Jenkins brothers. I'm trying to protect you from them.
Well, you sure got a funny way of showing it, Sheriff.
I know you did what you did in self-defense, as much as you, but I couldn't just let you go after them alone. And I couldn't take the chance that people would figure out we were working together on this.
Damn it, Sheriff. You're starting to sound downright confusing.
Look, I know who you are, and I know why you've come here. Hell, I was there when you were brought into this world. Your father and I were close friends, God bless his soul. But I know what happened that night, and we both know the Jenkins brothers are behind the murder of your family. And after 20 years to the day, the statute of limitations has run out, and I knew you would be here to seek your revenge. But neither one of us can do this alone, so we need to work together. So what do you say?
Sheriff, well, I do appreciate your offer. I'm a lone wolf, and I work alone.
If you change your mind, or just need my help in any way, you let me know. I at least owe your father that much. And just one more thing.
What, Sheriff?
I am going to need you to punch me in the face.
Well, I do aim to please, Sheriff.
You didn't even bother to ask me why. I need to make it believable that you broke out of jail. But why did you kick me in the nuts? I just asked for a punch in the face.
Well, I don't rightly know why I did it. But I can say one thing, Sheriff. That kick in the nuts just sweetens the deal.
Now get the hell out of here. You just broke out of jail. And let me know if you change your mind about my help. I think I'm going to need a bag of ice from the Crown Jewels. Damn, that hurt.
Will do, Sheriff. Will do.
The stranger didn't waste a second. He ran from jail and departed into the night to look for a good place to hide out for a while. Meanwhile, across town, a damsel in distress was heard screaming for help, as all the town's residents did nothing but watch. It was one of the Jenkins brothers. He was drunk and harassing Kenley, the mayor's daughter. But with the sheriff out of commission from a kick in the nuts, there was nobody to stop him. So against his better judgment, and being on the run from the law, the stranger had no choice but to turn around and help Kenley, the damsel in distress.
Now give me some sugar. Kenley, what's wrong? You ain't used to a real man, but you go and scream all you want. All the people in town are too cowardly to face me. Hell, even your daddy, the mayor, knows better than to cross me. So why don't you stop fighting me, honey, and take it like a good little woman?
Please, someone please help me. I beg of you. Please help me.
Ain't nobody gonna help you.
Well then, I reckon that makes me nobody.
What the hell are you doing here? I thought you was washed up.
There ain't a prison cell big enough to hold me. I busted out.
Thank you mighty kindly, stranger. How will I ever thank you?
Well, ma'am, I can think of at least 3 different ways. We'll save that for later.
Who the hell are you, mister?
I'm the hombre that's gonna put you 6 feet under, cowboy. But you can call me Nobody.
Well, I might not know your name, old brain, but I am sure you know mine. I am one of the Jenkins brothers, and you just messed with the wrong person, Mr. Nobody. So get ready to meet your maker. Draw.
The two combatants sized each other up as they squared off in the street, right in front of Indy's saloon. But only one of them was destined to survive. But such was the code of the West, where the lifespan of a man often depended upon how adept he was a peacemaker. So they circled each other, staring each other down, like predators stalking their prey in an epic fight to the death, with one of them destined to die, cut down like a dog in the middle of the street, to take a man's last breath and leave his wounded body to bleed its last drop in the mud, a feast for the worms in the ground and the vultures in the sky, to pick the bones clean with nothing but a name on a stone to remember them by as they are lost to the desert sands of time. Soon will join the souls of the damned, their spirit ripped from this carnal existence. They have reached the end of the line. This is where the trail ends to cross the river Styx. A bell rings out in the churchyard as the ravens soar above, circling around the mountains, omens of the spirits to come, guides to the land of the dead. As the nervous sweat drips down to their trigger finger hands, heart-pounding intensity, as the sense of finality fills the street, like a harbinger of fate. But it's too late to turn this around. Once you have crossed the Black Cat's path, there is really no more turning back that team. Grandad watched from the window, taking it all in. Pat Evans let out a nervous laugh as Wolfie prayed for the men. And they say angels don't fall, but the dead sure as hell do. Just ask Kip and Michelle. Chuck knows this is true. Daryl and Joy placed their wagers on the stranger from a place unknown. As the Jenkins brother fell in the street, the stranger's peacemaker found its mark as he lay dead in the street, and his mortal call to this world was released. And Donna shed a tear for the dead, but Faith just laughed at the absurdity of life. As Joe Morgan looked on from above, the whole town came out to watch the spectacle of death as the Reaper came to collect his prize. And all that remains is a name on a tombstone from 1869.
Oh, stranger, you are my hero.
Well, thank you mighty kindly, Kelly Ann.
Be careful, stranger. Them Jenkins brothers will be looking for you.
Why, thank you, Wolfie. I appreciate that.
Stranger, you make me laugh.
Much obliged, Pat Evans.
Daddy, this is the man who saved my life. Can you please pardon him for his crimes? After all, you are the mayor of this here town. Oh, Daddy, I think I am in love with him.
Very well then, Flower. As the mayor of this one-horse town, I hereby pardon the stranger of any crimes he may have or may have not committed. And stranger, please don't kick me in the nuts like you did the sheriff.
Well, thank you mighty kindly, Mayor. And with that, I best be moseying on my way.
Without a moment to spare, the stranger rode out of town and headed toward the old Jenkins place to finish what he started, until the sheriff got up to him, and they exchanged words.
Stranger, wait. I need to talk to you. This is important.
Now you look here, Sheriff. This damn well better be important. You know I got me a score to settle with those damn Jenkins brothers tonight.
They are going to know you are coming, stranger. You are walking straight into an ambush. If you want listen to reason, then at least bring me with you to even the odds.
I'm afraid I can't do that, Sheriff. This is my fight, and mine alone. I demand my revenge. Looks like you came a long way for nothing.
The stranger rode off into the night, hell-bent on revenge, and left the sheriff, like his past, far behind him, but indelibly imprinted on his mind. There were only 3 of the Jenkins brothers left. Carl, the youngest of the lot. Edmund, the crazy one, who drank too much for his own good. And Samuel, who was the meanest one of the whole bunch, the oldest, and the one who pulled the trigger that night that the stranger's parents died. But they all needed to be sent to hell itself, as far as the stranger was concerned. Then the stranger came to a place where the trail twisted and turned through a steep rocky canyon, and he knew this was the perfect place for an ambush. But he pushed on regardless, determined to see his style of vigilante justice served. But he took out his Winchester, just in case. Always alert, he caught the glint of a lightning flash reflect off of something above in the canyon. So he aimed his Winchester and fired. It was indeed an ambush, but at least Carl, the youngest, fell victim to the stranger's Winchester. But the next round found its mark in the stranger's own body. As he was knocked off of his horse and fell to the ground, unconscious, as the light left his eyes. His last waking thoughts were of the memories of his dearly departed parents.
Well, look who decided to join me. It's about time you woke up.
What happened, Sheriff? Where am I?
You, my mysterious and headstrong friend, are in my camp. Got a nice fire to keep us warm. Coffee heating up, and a good solid meal on the grill.
Sheriff, I just wanted to tell you.
You can stop right there, stranger. No need for apologies. And for what it's worth, I forgive you if it makes you feel any better. But from here on out, we work together, partner. Okay?
Okay, Sheriff. You got yourself a deal. But how in the hell did I get here?
I followed you the whole way. Somehow I knew you would need my help. You killed Clyde, the youngest one in the canyon, and I managed to take out Edmund. But before he got away, Samuel managed to pop you right in the side, knocked you right off your horse, where you hit your head on a rock and went out like a light. And that is when I lifted you up and brought you back here, stitched up your wounds, and watched over you till you opened your eyes.
Oh, my eyes have definitely been opened, Sheriff. I'm mighty grateful.
Well, for what it's worth, you're welcome, son. So that only leaves Samuel, the meanest one of the whole damn bunch. He is the Jenkins brother who cut down your family in cold blood and burned your family home, down to the ground. They say he was lost as a child and raised by rattlesnakes, drank venom for milk, and ate fire for breakfast. He is the most cold-blooded, ruthless killer this side of the Mississippi. Don't you underestimate him, stranger. I heard he once killed a mountain lion with his bare hands because it refused to use a litter box. He has more old Colt 45 scars on him than a bank teller on the bad side of town. So don't be surprised if it takes more than one round to put him down. He is blind in his right eye, and he has a condition that makes him extra sensitive to sunlight. So make sure you have the sun at your back, stranger, before you face him in the street for a showdown. Now I have it from a reliable source that he is going to be riding into town today to hunt you down like a mangy dog. So he will be looking for you to finish what you started, and he knows you are wounded. So he will be relentless in his pursuit of you. Now let's eat some breakfast before we ride into town and finally see justice served and send that son of a bitch to his maker.
But Sheriff, I was shot up pretty bad back there. I just don't know if I can still do this or not.
Now you listen to me, son, and listen up good. There comes a point in a man's life where he has to face his ultimate fate in life. I don't rightly know that you got a choice, son. Now get the hell up. Put your big boy pants on, and let's finish this bastard once and for all. You were born for this moment. This is the day of atonement. This is the day that you set things right. This is Judgment Day for the man who slaughtered your whole family in cold blood.
He murdered my father and my mother. He burned our house to the ground, and he robbed me of my youth. He took everything I had from me, and that is a pain that I must live with for the rest of my life. I've waited 20 years for this day to come. Let's go kill that son of a bitch.
The sheriff and the stranger ride into town with the morning sun at their back, looking for a showdown with the last Jenkins brother, but Snakeskin Samuel is nowhere to be found. A tumbleweed rolls by in the eerily empty streets in what has become a ghost town as the townspeople shut their windows and lock their doors. Well, everyone but Snooks, who had no fear. Some said that it was more like death was the one that feared her than the other way around. And then the unmistakable sound of a Colt 45 was heard echoing throughout the empty streets. The stranger looked back and saw the sheriff fall down lifeless in the middle of the road. And that was when he realized that this town was not big enough for the both of them. Either he or Snakeskin had to die that day.
That's right. I killed your mother. I killed your father. I killed the sheriff, and now I am going to kill you, stranger. and there is not a damn thing you can do about it. And do you want to know why I killed your own mother, in cold blood, right in front of you? And do you want to know why? Because I enjoyed it, that's it. That's all she was to me, a thrill. And now that you know, it's time to finish what I started 20 years ago. It is time for you to die, stranger. Draw.
The two fighters circled each other under the murderous Texas sun. Both of them aware that today was a good day to die. And only one of them would leave this road alive. The other would leave in a pine box, read their last rites, and tossed into the cold, hard ground. This was the way of the West, to ride out into the sunset, on the larger-than-life epic quest for redemption and vengeance, at the cold steel hands of a Colt 45. Snake's skin had his back to the sun, and his wounds were slowing him down, so it began to look like he had met his match. And he grew dizzy from the loss of his blood, as the desert sun beat down on him, or the sounds of the circling vultures who screeched down like death from above, as the omens of those who were watching seemed to be warning him of his fate to come. But the stranger refused to die. He defied the spirits of gloom and doom. Even the Norns themselves would yield to his stubborn determination to right the wrongs of the past, and were the fates themselves to bend their knees to the winds of vengeance and see that justice be done, and to guide his solemn rounds, to bring the killer to justice, and to pay for what he had done to his family with his life, and send his wicked spirit back to the pits of hell itself, from which it spawned, the emissary of purity of honor, brought to justice and sentenced to death for all he had done.
Darn it all, stranger. Look out. He's a-fixin' to bust a cap in your ass.
The stranger drew his weapon, but he was too slow, and Snake fired a round that knocked the stranger's peacemaker right out of his hand. Then Snake fired another round, which wounded the stranger and dropped him to the ground bleeding. Snooks ran to the stranger as he lay wounded in the street and helpless without his weapon to cover him and protect him from Snake, who was slowly walking towards him to finish him off.
You say back now, Snake. You better not lay a hand on the stranger. You hear me?
Shut the hell up, Snooks. I'm going to have some fun with my prey, and you best get out of the way, unless you want to get hurt too.
Snooks, spread your legs.
Stranger, I don't care if you was shot or not. You got some nerve to talk to a woman like that.
But Snooks realized what the stranger was doing and allowed him to grab the Dillinger she hid in her garter belt and get ready to use it against Snake-Skinned Samuel, the man who killed his family.
You got any last words before I send you straight to hell, stranger?
Well, I reckon I do have a few parting words for you there, Snake. Say hello to your brothers for me when you see them in hell.
The stranger killed Snake.
Y'all need to call the doctor over here. The stranger is hurt.
My name is Algorithm Stranger, and I'm the doctor in this here town.
I'm gonna fix you right up. But as new stranger, I like to dress up like a bat.
The stranger done shot the last Jenkins brother. I am Al Bundy, bitches.
I am GG, and you'll need to get the hell out of the way so I can properly thank the stranger.
And just like that, the stranger said goodbye to the town and rode off into the sunset, looking for his lost jelly as he rode off into the distance. On the trail of the setting sun, a legend of the West. Some say he has no name, just a rider on the storm, like a nut that searches for its jelly. In the enigmatic code of the West, in an epic tale of the rider, the legend continues in another forgotten ghost town, but the memory remains and will never be forgotten.
Special thanks to Wolfie, Pat Evans, Patrick Roberts, Boy, Snooks, Faith, Ann C, JM, Silver Patriot, Tammy, Kenley, Brian Griffin, Algo, Crunchy Beat, Gigi, Eric ER, Donna, MT Callie, Debs, New Moon, SE Wolverines, Red Pill, Marshmallow Man Lewis, Angels Don't Fall, Granddad, Cat in a Birdcage, Jarmy, Steve Harloha and Dan, Andy Podtrash, Game Over 2, AC, I'm Your, Indy, Anti-Atjack, Chrissy Cat, Lisa, Aratria, Allie, Casey from Enter the Stars, Just Kip, Chuck, Dub, Ange, Michelle Frost, Navy Vet, Okinawa, Michigander, Read Between the Lines, Serious Commentator, Shappy, Exiled, Bubba News, Cher, I Love Jesus Reigns Forever, Rebecca, Daryl, Joy, Ruben, Ragnar, The Watchmen, The Scariest Movie Ever, Carla, Dean, Chicken Little, Cher Saved by Grace, Sky Bastards, Watt, Debs, Frank Turzo, Sal from Unshackled, Zio Fender, Cheryl Rich, Kellyanne, Mamacita, Count Trumpula, Montauk is Strange, Crystal Gem, Miss Bindersue, Truth Junkie 777, Paul, and Wayne Morse. I apologize if I missed your name. Let me know, and I'll try to get it in next time. Basically, what I did was I looked through the names from the last few videos I made, and that some people I know from memory. So if you want to have your names in here for the next thing like this, a good way to remind me is to leave comments in my videos. So it's not like you have to, but it helps me to remember everyone. So God bless everyone in Jesus' name. If you have not found Jesus Christ yet, please do so before it's too late. Jesus loves you, but the time is short. Oh, and I almost forgot Joe Morgan and Speak Truth with Love, Cellar Door, Anna, and I'm sure I'm forgetting more people, so I want to apologize again. Yippee-ki-yay, yippee-ki-yo. Alrighty then, Peanut Gallery. You know what time it is. It's time to bust out your peanut decoder rings and solve this code. And here is the code. Are you ready? It's 9, 12, 15, 22, 5, 25, 15, 21, 1, 12, 12. And until next time, Peanut Gallery, this is the Dr. Peanut Old Time Radio Show signing off.